My name is Colton Tyler Wasinski. The Tyler is for Dr. Tyler, the man who delivered me. He was black, which is pretty cool. My brother's middle name is Cooper. He got that named after a baseball glove, and I think I won that battle. Anyways, I consider myself to be a pretty average guy. All my life I've strived to be happy while still being average. I'm not sure when it started, but nowadays I dream to have a cute little wife and a cute little house and a cute little town where I have a cute little job as a teacher. If I could pinpoint when I started my life as a video game playing average kid, I would probably say it started during that awkward 4th or 5th grade time period when you don't really know quite anything at all, and you just go through life, waking up and seeing what brings you joy and doing it well, and doing it. Well, I should probably talk about my friend's situation at the time. In 1st grade, I went up to a kid named Mike Peters, and we looked at each other, and one of us said, "We're going to be friends." Or at least that's how the story goes. We still hang out almost every day, and he showed one of my favorite games called Team Fortress 2, but we'll get back to that later. Well, anyways, back to doing what brings you joy. The two little things that brought me joy were playing video games and hanging out with Mike. And with RuneScape, we could do both of those things. I remember talking about the girls I had crushes on and the teachers I dislike and all the kids Mike and I met at school over RuneScape chat. I can honestly say that playing RuneScape was probably the highlight of my life, measured in the amount of fun I was having. I think it's because of that silly game that I'm so laid back and friendly. Honestly, I would sit on my computer virtually fishing and virtually mining for 10 hours each day, and it wouldn't get boring because other people were doing the same stupid stuff. Everyone was so friendly back in the old days of computer gaming. It was great, and I think it led me to feel comfortable around other people nowadays. Don't get me wrong, it took me a long time to be any bit outgoing in a crowd of anybody more than Mike. But while I was playing, I started to develop more and more friends through video games. This is around the time when I met Connor Gill. Sadly, I don't talk to him anymore. I don't even know what happened to him, to be honest. He was the most evil child I could ever imagine being spawned into this earth, but man, he was funny. The last I heard of him was sophomore year when he threw my backpack into the girls' bathroom, and he threw it way in there. On the last day of school, that was on the last day of school. I wouldn't say he taught me to laugh at myself, and it can be better described as depersonalizing insults. When someone would make fun of me, and honestly it pretty much didn't happen or never happened often, I would take what they say and think to myself, if this was directed at someone else, would I be laughing? And most of the time it was pretty darn funny, and I can't take offense to a good joke, now can I? I can also say that with around 90% certainty, I don't really remember. Someone showed me it, but I think Connor showed me Minecraft. I don't really remember. At the moment I became hooked on that game, it basically determined my current lifestyle. Minecraft introduced me to Joey Bednar, and there aren't enough words in this world to describe Joey Bednar. I met him around 6th grade, and back then he was still pretty normal, or what most people would consider normal. But over time he would change into the coolest, weirdest person in the world, and I wouldn't trade for anyone. He started as a quiet kid who would go to the skate park with after school. And the skateboarding phase was probably the longest and most active phase I've had him. The longest active phase, not the most active, I mean. I never got good at skateboarding. Never. I would go to the skate park every day when it wasn't snowing or raining after school. And this lasted for all of probably 6th grade through junior year. I guess it was more about the relationships I made than the tricks I learned, because I didn't learn any tricks. But back to Joey. He eventually transformed into a majestic and beautiful beast. He had the weirdest sense of humor in the world, and it often gets on everybody's nerves. But he dropped out of school because, he isn't like any other kid, and school just wasn't working out for him. I've only came close to crying once in my entire high school life, and that's because of Joey. One day he left his house, went to some girl's house he met over the internet, and he didn't tell anybody. The cops got involved, and his grandma made him move out with his dad or something. And this devastated me for all about 2 days, and then he came back and everything went to normal. Joey eventually led to Broderick Kurtz. Now, none of you probably ever heard of him because he lives about an hour away in Algonquin. He is still included in my tiny circle of best friends, though. We met through Minecraft about 4 years ago on a random server that we both frequented. The story goes that Joey and Broderick teamed up one night and started Skyping each other. The next morning, when Mike, Hayden, and I joined the Skype call, there was this weird newcomer in there named Broderick. 2 years later, the question finally came up of, where do you live? And we were really freaked out to find out that we could just drive over there and pick him up when we got our licenses. And that's exactly what we did. During junior year, we drove up to his house and brought him over to Gurney. He slept at my house for 2 days. And we still talk nowadays, but through Skype. But he tends to disappear for a couple weeks on end, and he kind of enjoys doing drugs sometimes. His catchphrase is, "I'm not like the other boys, I listen." Broderick put me into the phase of life I'm in now. He showed me the current game I play all day, which is League of Legends. That game has taught me so many things. Like, teamwork will always beat a one-man force. Communication is the key, and you don't know how much you hate your friends until you have to work with them. As for the most important people in my life, my family, they're awesome. I have a brother who is like me in every way. It's amazing. I always say that I wish the world was full of a bunch of Coltons and me's, and I guess one is close enough. My parents are total bros. I don't really come to them with my problems because, well, they always solve my problems before they even happen. My dad is probably the smartest guy I know, and my mom provides me with everything. Usually now is the point in a relationship after telling someone all this. That is why I wonder why video games are so frowned upon in our society. If someone constantly plays sports because they love playing sports, they have a hobby. But when I tell anyone that I play this much video games, it's because I have a problem, or because I'm addicted. People usually tell me they're either disappointed in me because I play this much. It's not like I haven't tried sports. I played a cute little summer league of lacrosse with all the kids that were actually good at lacrosse. Yeah, that was embarrassing. That was completely terrible. After getting diagnosed with Crohn's disease, it's been kind of tough to do sports on the account of getting massive stomach pains after playing too much physical things. Well, I guess that's just the hand I was dealt with in life. Who am I? I'm the kid that strives and succeeds to be happy. How did I get this way? People in video games, honestly. My friends, the video games I played, they're just what made me into me. If in the future, I'm off to Carthage College to follow my mom's footsteps and become a teacher. Hopefully that makes me happy, as that's all I'm really looking for in my future. Just to give a small rundown, this is Team Fortress 2. The character I'm playing is Heavy. His name is Heavy. And this is every time a little white box pops up in the top right of the screen, that means I got a kill. So that's what's happening here. I sped it up because it's really long and I'm just mowing people down. Fun stuff. I guess I'll describe what's happening. Right here we're pushing on their second to last point. This is a control point server. And the important thing to do is you want to work slowly. You don't want to be stupid like any other shooter. I mean, video games aren't useless. They'll teach you stuff if you want to learn. But each class has a different role. I'm a Heavy. I just stay back and kill everything. It's fun. I don't usually play him though. That's a sandwich. It heals people. They just Ubered me, which means I'm invincible. It lasts for like 20 seconds or something. And right here I'm killing a medic. Medics are really important. They keep the team alive. Simple stuff. It's really fun. Really good game. Right now just working on capturing the point, keeping it stable, waiting for my teammates to back me up. I finally think it's time to move in here. And there's a sentry there. Take it out quickly, walk on the point, kill everything because I'm awesome at this game, and type in all chat because I'm cool like that. And you can see that I play 1,767 hours of TF2. Yeah, that's great. And the RuneScape I had, the account I had with 103 days played, I have 2 of those. Hope you guys had a great time watching me play video games, and have a great day, guys. I love you all.